timers and counters. In 8051 microcontroller, to generate the time delay as well as counting the external event, counting the event, there are two timer registers are available. That is timer 0, timer 1. Both registers are 16-bit registers, as well as this T0 and T1 divided into two 8-bit. Lower byte T0, higher byte T0, lower byte timer 1, higher byte timer 1. First, let us understand what is the example for a timer. What timer is actually doing. A simple example I have presented here. Microwave oven. So what is the function of microwave oven? It heats the foods. Okay. The user can interact with the microwave oven. We can fix the time. Okay. So it can rotate the disk, heat the food, calculate the temperature, and display the values. Okay. So once if we set the time, if the time reached the particular value, then timer generate interrupt to the processor. So whenever the timer generate interrupt, the interrupt flag will be set. Okay. Once the CPU service the interrupt service routine, that time the interrupt flag becomes 0. The simple analogy for a timer applications. How to generate that time using timer, that we will discuss in today lecture. Counter application, the principle is same. In both way, timer count the clock pulses, but in timer mode, the timer count internal clock pulse, which is generated by the 8051 microcontroller oscillator, crystal oscillator divided by 12. For counting application, the controller receive the clock pulses from external world. Say for example, how many objects are crossing. For each and every crossing, so there will be interrupts in this light source. This is a light source, this is an LDR, so a clock pulse will be generated. Or another example for counting, how many people are available inside the hall. Okay, so here's one light source here, and here an LDR. So it can operate up counter as well as down counter. If the people are entered inside, it will operate at up counting mode. If the people leaving from the hall, it will decrement by 1. So finally, we will come to know how many people are available in a particular hall. Okay, this is another application of counter, or counting your money, cashes. So these are all some applications, right? Okay. So before enter into timer counter register, let us recall the basics of the counting. 2-bit timer counter. Say for example, 2-bit timer counter. So it can able to count 00 in binary. Okay, 00011011. In binary representation, actually 4 clock pulses. Actually, if a 2-bit counter meaning, it can able to count 4 clock pulses. When you apply the 5th clock pulse, then the overflow will be occurs. Please remember. When you apply the 5th clock pulse, then overflow will be occurs. The timer will generate interrupt to the processor. Okay, but in truth table, we studied in the digital electronics. This is decimal 0, 1, 2, 3. Actually, if you look at this table, it can able to count 4 clock pulses. When we apply the 5th clock pulses, or when the timer receives the 5th clock pulse, then the overflow will be occurs. Similarly, if we consider 4-bit timer, it can able to count up to 16 clock pulses. 16 clock pulses, total 16 clock pulses. On applying the 7th clock pulse, the overflow will be occur. So the timer generate interrupt to the processor. Okay, say for example, I want to design a timer we should be count only 5 clock pulses. So what is the number to be loaded in the timer? 5 count meaning if you load 5 directly, if you load 5 directly here, the corresponding binary value is 0101. Now check 0110, 111, 100, and so on. This is not exact your 5 count, correct? This is more than 5. So what must be the value should be loaded in the timer? The formula is maximum count minus desired count. Suppose 4-bit timer meaning 16 is the maximum possible. When we apply the 17th clock pulse, the overflow will occur. Okay, so maximum count 16 minus desired count 5. Say for example 5 I have taken, so 11. So we have to load 11. Okay, so let now check 12, 13, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clock pulses completed. When you apply the 17th clock pulse, the overflow will occur. The timer generate the interrupt to the process. Okay. So if you assume maximum count in terms of decimal, in terms of clock pulses, 4-bit timer meaning it can able to count maximum 16 clock pulses. So 16 minus desired count. Otherwise, if we follow the table like decimal 0 to 15, hmm, decimal 0 to 15, then this formula would become maximum count minus desired count minus desired count plus 1. Both are same meaning actually. If you follow this truth table format, the decimal equivalent for this binary, then 0 to 15. 0 to 15 meaning total 16 clock pulses. So if you follow this one, maximum count is 15. 15 minus desired count plus 1. Otherwise, remember 4-bit timer meaning 2 power 4, total count is 16. So 16 minus 11. Here also you will get 11. Okay. In some textbook follows this formula. In Mazidi textbook follows this formula only. Maximum count minus desired count. So these are all some basic principle, right? Okay. How this timer generate delay? So I told you whatever the oscillator frequency of 8051 microcontroller, that is divided by 12. That is divided by 12, and this clock frequency goes to timer circuit. Already we calculated time period of one machine cycle. There is no correlation between the machine cycle time period calculation and this F oscillator by 12. So in internal circuitry made like this, oscillator frequency divided by 12, and then whatever the clock pulse available, that is applied to the timer circuit. Please remember this. So if you want to generate particular time delay, let us assume 1 microsecond. This is 1 microsecond time delay. So based on the count, we can able to generate the time delay. 16 clock pulse. If we use 4-bit timer, it counting up to 16 clock pulse minutes. So 16 into 1 microsecond. 16 microsecond time delay we can able to generate. Or if you load 16-bit, 16-bit meaning total count is 65536. So 65536, 65536 microsecond time delay we can able to generate. These are all some fundamental concepts you should understand. How many clock pulse the timer is counting, and what is the time duration of a particular clock pulse. Then if you multiply both, maximum possible time delay which you can generate using 16-bit timer. This is the maximum time delay you can generate using 4-bit timer. Okay, right. Now we will go to the topic. There are two important pins, that is T0, T1. For timer input, I told you this timer acts as timing to generate time delay, that is timer purpose, as well as counting the clock pulses from the external world, particularly number of event occurs. So T not T1. Okay. So apart from these two external interrupt, INT0, INT1. So I'll remove all other pins. These 4 pins are very important. Timer 0, timer 1, INT 0, INT 1. I'll tell you why this INT 0, INT 1 related with this timer operation. We will discuss later. Okay. So in this diagram, it is clearly mentioned if it is timer operation, the clock pulses from processor. Let assume 12, actually 11.0592 megahertz. Some textbook follows 12 megahertz. So you read the question paper whether they have provided the oscillatory frequency or not. If the oscillatory frequency provided, then no problem. If not, you have to assume exact frequency, that is 11.0592 megahertz only, not 12 megahertz. Okay. So timing mode, this in timer mode, these timers are receiving the clock pulses from processor internal oscillator, internal clock pulses only. When counting mode or counter mode, this timer 0, timer 1 both receive signal from external device. Please remember this. I'll write down here. Timer, internal clock pulse. Counter, external clock pulse. This is not a uniform, okay? Whenever the event occurs, that time a pulse will be generated. Right? Okay. Now we'll start our technical discussion. So for timer counter operation, there are two important special function register available. One is timer counter control. This is bit addressable as well as byte addressable. Okay. Bit addressable represents individual bit can be accessed. Timer mode control register. Mode control register. By looking at this name itself, we will get some idea whether the timer act as a timer mode or counter mode. That is mode control. Apart from this is bar actually. Okay, counter slash timer bar. Apart from this, various modes available that we will discuss. In timer counter control special function registers. So we know timer 1, timer 0. Timer 1, timer 0. Two 16-bit registers are available. So here TF1, TF0 represents whenever timer 1 is overflow, this flag bit will be set. Timer 1 overflow flag will be set. TF0 represents timer 0 overflow flag will be set. Okay. So already I told you, whenever the timer reaches the maximum count, then the overflow will occur. So it will generate the interrupt. So that time this timer flag will be set. This is for timer 0, this is for timer 1. Next, to start the timer or counter, this timer run control bit. TR stands for timer run control bit. Timer 1, timer run control bit. Timer 0, run control bit. It should be 1. If it is 1, timer 0 will start the function. If it is 1, timer 1 start the counting the clock pulse. Okay, this is timer uncontrolled. Next one, these two flag bits. INT1, external interrupt. If the external interrupt pin INT1 receive the interrupt, then this will become 1. External interrupt input, INT0 receive the signal, this will set to be 1. Okay, this is external interrupt flag bit. Whenever microcontroller receive external interrupt through INT0 pin, this flag bit will be set. INT1 pin, this flag bit will be set. Okay, remaining two are there. So what is the function of this one? IT0 and IT1. I will explain you with the example. external interrupt type control bit. Okay, if this particular pin is 1, what it does mean, the external interrupt received by the microcontroller through INT1, INT0. Say for example, INT1, INT0 is 1, 1, meaning the corresponding input is recognized during negative edge triggering. Negative edge triggering meaning uh, 1 to 0. If IT, ITX, whether it is 0, 1, if it is set, meaning the controller recognize the external interrupt input during, if it is changing from 1 to 0 only, it doesn't interrupt. Okay, suppose if we set the IT.X pin is 0, now the controller recognize the interrupt during low level trigger. Okay, it must be 0, logic 0 for a while. That is low level. Why logic 0? It is an active low signal. If you look at the pin diagram of the microcontroller, you will come to know it is active low signal. INT 0, INT 1. On this particular pin, if it is 0 for a while, then the interrupt recognized. Okay, so that's why here we put low level. Level triggering. This is level triggering, particularly low level triggering. This is edge triggering, particularly negative edge triggering. So that is the function of this IT, external interrupt type control bit. External interrupt type control bit. Okay, so do you understand? I'll repeat once again. Timer 1 overflow, this flag will be set. Timer 0 overflow, this flag will be set. To start timer 0, it should be set by the programmer. To start the timer 1, it should be set by the programmer. Whenever INT1 receive the external interrupt enable 1 flag bit will be set. Whenever INT0 receive the external interrupt, this flag bit will be set. To differentiate what kind of interrupt type, external interrupt type, then we can use IT1, IT0. If IT1, IT0 set to 0, it means if 0 on the particular external interrupt pin, it is recognized as the interrupt. If ITX equal to 1, meaning whenever 1 to 0 transition occurs at INT0, INT1, then it is recognized as interrupt. Okay, so this is a function of timer counter control registers. Please remember, this is a bit addressable. Individual bit can be modified by the programmer with the help of set bit instruction, clear instruction, or byte addressable. With the help of tcon name or address of the special function registers, we can directly modify all these 8 bit. That is byte addressable, both bit addressable as well as byte addressable. So are you clear with this concept now? What is the function of each and every bit in timer counter control? Timer mode control. Timer mode control. So this pin is counter slash timer bar. This is counter slash timer bar. Okay. For timer counter 0, these 4 bits are used. For timer counter 1, these 4 bits are used. Okay. So C slash T bar. If this is 0, meaning the timer mode operation will be enabled. If this is 1, meaning the counter mode operation will be enabled. Okay. To select whether the timer is operating at timer mode or counter mode, this particular bit will be used. For timer 1, this particular bit. For timer 0, this particular bit. So apart from this, we have 2 more bit, M1, M0. M1, M0 available in timer counter 1 also, timer counter 0 also. Okay. So timer 1, timer 0 can be operated independently at the same time. So what are the operating modes? 0, if it is 0, 0, 13 bit timer. Timer 0 can act as a 13-bit timer. Timer 1 can act as a 13-bit timer independently. 0, 1 meaning 16-bit timer. Timer 0, timer 1 can operate in mode 1 independently. 1, 0, 8-bit auto reload mode. Timer 0, timer 1 both can work in this auto reload mode independently. The last one is a different kind of mode, split timer mode. We will discuss in detail. What do you mean by split timer mode? In split timer mode, timer 0 only, a timer 0 utilizing the overflow flag of timer 0 as well as overflow flag of timer 1. Okay, so this concept somewhat difficult. We will discuss in the last slide. Okay, please remember there are 4 modes of operation. Okay, so we covered whether it is timer mode or counter mode, and whether mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, these bits. At last, one more position is there, gate. What do you mean by gate? What do you mean by gate? So already we studied TR0, TR1. Timer run control bit for timer 0, timer run control bit for timer 1. Okay, but suppose if the programmer want to start the timer from the external hardware, by the external hardware, say for example, so I'm connecting some push button switches through this INT0, INT1. That's why I mentioned INT0, INT1 somewhat related with this timer operation. So this is for external hardware control of timer. Okay, so when gate equal to 1, the timer circuits controlled by the external hardware, start button. Even the external hardware controlled, but timer 0, timer 1 run control bit should be set. This is mandatory. So this is software control. This is hardware control. But even though we are using hardware control, TR0, TR1 must be set to start the operation of timer 0, timer 1 respectively. Okay. So that's why we kept one more field with gate bit. Usually we are not going to use this for this programming, but you should understand. Okay. So timer mode control. So are you clear now? TCON, T mode. Timer counter control register. Timer mode control register. This is not bit addressable. This is not bit addressable. Programmer cannot access the individual bit. Okay, this is byte addressing one. With the help of T mode name or the address of the special function register in RAM location, that we can directly modify this entire bits, entire byte of this register. Okay. Now let's go with timer counter internal logic. Timer counter logic. Timer counter logic. So this is the circuits present in the 8051 microcontroller. The circuits available for timer 0, timer 1. This circuit is identical for both timer 0 as well as timer. In general, here it is mentioned as timer register. Same setup exists for timer 0 as well as timer 1. Okay, so already I told you, if the timer started working in timing mode, timer mode, then it receives the clock pulses from internal oscillator. Okay, let's assume this is timer mode. Timer operation. So what is the condition for timer operation? This pin must be 1. C divided by T bar pin must be 1. Sorry, 0. So that 0, 0 complement 1, this will be activated. Okay. It should be 0. It is acting as a timer. So timer 0 or timer 1 receive the clock pulse from internal oscillator. Oscillator frequency divided by 12, then it will be connected. And to start the timer 0, timer 1, the corresponding timer run control bit must be 1. It should be 1. This AND gate output is 1 if both the inputs are high only. Okay, so this section over. Gate bit. Assume it is software controlled only. Software controlled meaning the gate bit must be 0, not hardware controlled. So gate equal to 0. 0 meaning inverter output 1. If any one input is 1, OR gate output is 1. So this is 1, this will be 1. It's connected. Irrespective of this INT 0 pin. Why we are using this INT 0 or INT 1 pin here? If we are using external reset, external hardware control of timer 0, timer 1, then through INT 0, INT 1 only we can able to connect the switches. That's why I mentioned here. We are not going to use this external hardware control. This is timer operation. For counter operation, this timer 0, timer 1 receive the clock pulses from external input through T0, T1 pin of microcontroller. So that time this C/T bar must be high. That is counter mode will be enabled. Okay, gate equal to 0 only. We are not using hardware control, so it should be 1. OR gate output 1. To start the timer 0, timer 1, the timer uncontrolled bit must be 1. So 1, 1 output of AND gate will be 1. So this is a logic behind timer and counter mode selections. Internal circuits logic for timer counter. When it is act as timer, it receives the clock pulses continuously from the internal oscillator. Depending on the modes of operation, it will give the interrupt once it's overflow. When it acts as counter, it count the occurrence of external event. We don't know when the clock pulse will occur. Say for example, if you go to a railway station and stand in the station and count the number of train passing in a particular time period. That is a counting. Okay. So randomly at the scheduled time the train may be arrive. But if it is in timer mode here, the internal clock pulses reach the timer at the periodic time interval. Okay. So modes of operation. Mode 0. This mode 0 applicable for both timer 0 as well as timer 1. Please remember this. Timer 0, mode 0. Timer 1, mode 0. Both can work in mode 0 independently. That's why I mentioned here X. Here X represents either 0 or 1. 13-bit timer mode. So lower order 5-bit. Lower order 5-bit. And higher order 8-bit. Okay. So 13-bit meaning 2 power 13, 8192. If the timer receives 8192 clock pulses, then on applying the next clock pulse 8193, at this particular clock pulse, this overflow flag will be set. Then it will generate interrupt to the processor. Okay, so why we are keeping this TL first and TH next? So if you look at the pattern like timer 0, first bit is starting from 0 here, 0, 1 up to 15th bit. This 16-bit timer. Okay, so if you want to add some count, From this bit only we are adding, correct? From the lower order section only we are adding the count. That's the reason the TL is available in front. It receives the clock pulses. It will count first. If this is overflow, then the TH start counting. So this is 5. So this TLX overflow at the end of 32 clock pulse, 2 power 5. Okay. So this will overflow after 256 clock pulse. Okay. Or you assume that this is 13-bit timer mode or counter mode. Once the timer reaches 8192 clock pulses, the interrupt will be generated. Okay. So depending on the time period of the clock pulse, of this clock pulse, then that much amount of time delay we will get. Okay. This we have to calculate from the given problem, or assume our oscillator frequency is 11.0592 megahertz divided by 12. That is goes to the timer input. Okay. It's very simple mode of operation. Next, individual timer 0, timer 1 can act as mode 1. What is mode 1? The entire 16 bits of timer 0 or entire 16 bit of timer 1 utilized for this. Okay, so 2 power 16, 65536. Once 65536 clock pulses reached, then this flag bit will be set. Timer overflow flag bit will be set. It generates the interrupt signal to the processor. Okay, this TLX will overflow when if it is reaches the 256 clock pulse. Then TH start counting. This will get overflow once it reaches 256 clock pulse. Our total combination 2 power 16, 65536. If you are assuming the frequency, the timer receiving the frequency is 1 megahertz, then up to 65536 microsecond time delay we can able to generate by writing the program in mode 1. Okay. So this is timer mode 1. Mode 2 is some kind of special applications. Auto reload mode. Both timer 0, timer 1 independently can act in mode 2, auto reload mode. So here the count is loaded in TH. The count is loaded in TH. Okay. So whatever count we loaded here, that value will be passed on to TL. Say for example, this is 8-bit, so maximum 256. So if we load 256 here, that 256 will be loaded into TLX when the control equal to 1. Once this TL count 256 clock pulse, it will set this flag bit, the interrupt will be generated. That time the control equal to 1. Again this same count will be loaded into TL once again. Okay, then if TL is overflow, again flag bit will be set, interrupt will be generated. This process will be repeated. Yesterday I given one example. If you want to launch a missile for a particular periodic time interval, then auto reload mode will be preferable. You keep on doing the same function. Once TL overflow, flag bit will set, interrupt generated. Next, again, whatever value we loaded in TH, automatically it will be reloaded into TL. If it is overflow, interrupt will be generated. But it is 8-bit, so maximum we can able to generate 256 microsecond only. Okay. In this mode also, timer 0, timer 1, both can be acted independently. Right. So the last one is mode 3, split timer mode. split timer mode. We have timer 0 and timer 1. Okay. Timer 0 has one flag bit. Timer 1 has only one flag bit. Okay. In mode 3, timer 0 itself acts as two independent timer. That is TL0, TH0. Timer 0 itself, two independent timer. TL0, TH0. In TL0, it can be used as both timer as well as counter. It can be used as both timer as well as counter. TL0. TH0 act as only timer mode. So whenever the particular T0, T1 act as a timer mode or counter mode, once it reaches the maximum value, it should generate the interrupt. But T1 has only one overflow flag bit. TF has only one overflow flag bit. Once the overflow flag bit will be set, then interrupt will be generated. Or on interrupt generation, this flag bit will be set. Okay. So now what is the principle here? So timer 0, particularly TL0, utilize overflow flag bit of timer 0 itself. TL0 timer utilize the overflow flag of T0 flag bit only. And T0H, it acts as timer, no? So it need one flag bit. So this timer TH0 uses timer 1 overflow flag bit. So this overflow flag bit, will be utilized by TH0. Now timer 1 overflow flag bit not available for timer 1. Okay, because it is utilized by TH0. So this type of operation called as split gate, split mode operation. So timer 0, two independent registers, particularly TL0 timer as well as counter. It can able to operate as timer by counting the internal clock pulse, or it can be act as a counter by counting the number of external event occurs. But TH0 acts as only timer mode. T0 overflow flag bit utilized by TL0. T1 flag bit utilized by TH0. So this flag bit already utilized. So timer 1 can be in mode 0, mode 1, mode 2. Mode 2 only, okay? Mode 0, mode 1, mode 2. But it will not generate any interrupt. Why? Because already the flag bit is utilized by TH0. So please remember this. So mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, no issue. Both T0, T1 independently work. But in mode 3, if you are particularly using T0, using this particular concept, then T1 cannot able to generate any interrupt. And also T1 cannot used in mode 3. It may used in mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 when T0 work in mode 3. Please remember, when T0 in mode 3, when T0 in mode 3, T1 cannot work in mode 3. Not possible. But T1 can work in mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, but it cannot generate the interrupt signal because T1 interrupt utilized by TH0. should be clear with this concept while writing the programs. Okay. So the pictorial representation of this mode 3. See, TL0, TL0, both timer as well as counter. So when it is act as timer, it receive the clock pulse from internally. If it is act as counter, it receive clock pulse externally even through T0. Through T0 in. TH0 only timer mode, so it receive clock pulse from internal oscillator. Okay. So usually this timer mode is associated with some serial communication. We will discuss later. What is the role of timer 1 in serial communication? So that's all about timer counter special function registers and its modes of operation